We already know, Brendan. We already know. Come on. Be honest with us. Be honest with us. We already know. It's okay. We're going to help you through this. All right? Tell us. How do you know that? I was outside riding my bike. And I could hear it. What could you hear? Screaming.
Correct me if I'm wrong, what we were told is you wanted to speak with us just to, talk about some clarification of earlier statements.
Previous statements you had told us that you had left on your bike to go get the mail. Was that true? Mm-hmm. That was a lie? Did you hear any screaming or anything like you had told us previously?
No.
Did you cut her hair off? Yeah. Where did that happen? In the bedroom. Did you cut her hair off? No. Then why did you just tell us you did? Brendan.
I don't feel like I know what Brendan did. I'm not even sure if I think Brendan knows anymore. He's truly a sphinx to me.
You can't criticize law enforcement for actually doing the things they are trained to do. That's what they do. If people don't think that's the way it should happen, then we're having a much broader conversation about whether police should be able to lie to suspects or be able to interrogate suspects or do certain things. But that's a whole separate issue. That's a policy issue.
Had a chance to explain to the jury why he allegedly gave this false confession. Many times all he could respond with was, I don't know.
Welcome everyone to a Reading with the Crew special presentation. My name is Dr. Silkman and I'm from the Foul Play team. It's great to be back. Today's presentation is entitled Garbage In, Garbage Out. I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. And I want to state that all the opinions expressed in this presentation are my own. Now, as we all know, Brendan Dassey was interrogated on March the 1st, 2006. Right at the end of the interrogation session, Brendan's mother, Barb, actually asked Fassbender and Wiegert a very crucial question regarding the manner in which they had just interrogated her 16-year-old son, Brendan. This particular segment at the end of the interrogation was not shown to the jury.
Were you pressuring him?
Who were you talking about?
Him.
What do you mean pressuring him?
When talking to him.
No, we told him we needed to know the truth. We've been doing this job a long time, Barb, and we can tell when people are telling the truth. And in my opinion, he'd never be able to live with himself if he didn't tell somebody. There's no way he couldn't live with that. Nobody could live with that. And I think Brendan knows that.
Now, Brendan Dassey was interrogated using the Reed technique. The Reed technique was developed by John Reed and Associates in the United States all the way back in 1947. The Reed technique itself is a coercive, psychologically based interrogation method. And if you go to the Reed website, I was amused to see the title on their website, and it said, Protecting the Innocent and Identifying the Guilty. And as a subtext, it said, objective, empathetic, and unbiased, celebrating 78 years of excellence. A lot of research has shown that there are many issues with the read technique. First, there is the risk of false confessions, and this was actually recognized by the developer of the read technique. And there are individuals who would admit to serious crimes, like a violent assault or even murder, and later to be proven to be false. There's also the possibility of misclassification of truthful and innocent suspects. If the investigators who are interviewing you or interrogating you believe that you are guilty, then that's exactly how they're going to treat you. It's very important to understand that if you are in the interrogation room being subjected to the read technique, the interrogators already believe that you are guilty. There's also the possibility of confirmational bias by the interrogators, depending on what they know about the case. They may already suspect or believe that you are guilty no matter what you tell the interrogators. There are also ethical concerns due to the use of deceptive tactics. There's also an impact on vulnerable individuals, especially those with mental health conditions. Also, one of the big issues with the read technique is that there's an over-reliance on confessions rather than finding the truth. The interrogators want you to confess to a crime rather than actually finding out what occurred. They're there to solicit a confession from the person who's being interrogated. The investigators themselves are permitted and even instructed to use lying and deceit, and these are regarded as strategic tools during the interrogation session. The interrogators are also allowed to exaggerate evidence. Furthermore, the interrogators are even able to make up evidence against the person who's being questioned. For example, they may be able to tell a suspect, "We found your DNA at the crime scene. What's it doing there?" There are many infamous cases throughout the United States in which individuals have confessed to a violent crime, including murder, and later to be exonerated. You can see that Brendan Dassey is on this list as well. And the tactic used by both Fassbender and Wiegert, and I'll summarize it, was the form of minimization, basically telling a minor, quote, "Honesty will set you free," end quote. And there were also many, many leading questions in Brendan Dassey's interrogation. Now, conviction upheld, but widely cited by legal experts as a textbook coerced confession. It's a very important question, and that is, who was actually providing the narrative to the murder of Teresa Halbach? Was it Brendan Dassey, or was it indeed the investigators, Mark Wiegert and Tom Fassbender?
If you lie about it, that's going to be problems, okay? Does that sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The two detectives developed this theme of honesty, and they repeatedly, dozens of times in that interview, they say to Brendan, "Now be honest," okay? You know how important it is to be honest. But when you watch the videotapes, it's clear to me, I think, that when they say to Brendan, "Be honest," what they sort of mean is, don't tell us that, tell us something else. Something that fits their theory of the crime.
I think you went over to his house, maybe you asked him to get his mail. Something in here is missing.
Well, when I got the mail, there was like a envelope in there with his name on it.
All right.
Okay, now we're going. But what did you do?
I knocked on the door and he answered it.
Yeah, and then what?
I gave it to him and then I left.
Come on now. You just heard screaming over there.
You're making this hard on us and yourself.
Be honest. You went inside, didn't you?
Yeah.
You went in the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
You're nodding.
I think the detectives in this case were unaware that the degree to which they were shaping Brendan's statements. And that's why it's very important to take a look at the record of the interrogation to see who mentions particular facts first. Do they come from Brendan without any help from the police, or do they in fact come first from the police? And there are several occasions in these interrogations where apparently crucial bits of information are mentioned first by the police and not by Brendan Dassey.
Stephen Avery's attorneys, Jerome Buting and Dean Strang, they were already one step ahead of the curve. They knew that there was the potential that Mr. Kratz was going to place Brendan Dassey on the stand to testify against his uncle. So what Buting and Strang did is they employed Dr. Lawrence T. White. Quote, in addition, Avery attaches a report from Dr. Lawrence T. White, who is an expert on the issue of false or unreliable confessions and police interrogation techniques. Dr. White reviewed records of Brendan Dassey's level of mental functioning, as well as all of the police recordings of their interrogations of Brendan. Dr. White concludes, and I quote, there are reasons to believe that Brendan Dassey's statements may not be wholly reliable or truly voluntary. Brendan is a vulnerable individual due to his low intelligence, poor memory skills, and passive demeanour. The police repeatedly pressured Brendan to provide them with details that conform to their theory of the crime. Brendan's statements are often inconsistent, ambivalent, and self-contradictory. In sum, there are many reasons to question the trustworthiness and voluntariness of Brendan Dassey's so-called confession. Had Mr. Kratz placed Brendan Dassey on the stand, he would have been cross-examined and likely by Dr. Lawrence White. Mr. Kratz was fully aware of this. So Mr. Kratz decided not to call up Brendan Dassey to testify against his uncle. Brendan Dassey was also examined by Dr. Robert Gordon, who was a licensed psychologist, and he wrote a report for Brendan Dassey's new attorneys, Fremgen and Edelstein. In summary, the present interview results, test results, and review of collateral data show that Brendan is somewhat intellectually limited, passive, anxious, avoidant, and reserved. If he is presented with leading questions during an interview and or presented with interrogative pressure, his personality, as shown by interview data, behavior during the police interview, an interview by the present psychologist, research regarding adolescence and suggestibility, and current test data is very susceptible to suggestibility. Miss Schoenberg-Gross was questioned by attorney Fremgen during Brendan's trial. Question: in what capacity do you work at the Mishkot School District? Answer: I'm the school psychologist and the coordinator of alternative services, which includes the special education coordinator responsibilities. This is what Ms. Schoenberger-Gross said about Brendan. I quote, Brendan continues to demonstrate delays in his basic reading comprehension, and language skills, both receptively and expressively. Brendan needs specialized instruction, which the regular education environment alone does not provide. He needs special education services and supports to help him be successful in school and to help him meet his needs. In addition, this is what she said: uses minimal eye contact, gestures, and a variation of pitch in conversations in therapy and in the classroom, willingly participates in speech and language therapy sessions. And finally, she said, he exhibits difficulty responding clearly and concisely to others. Paragraph comprehension, defining vocabulary, and understanding age-appropriate vocabulary terms remains challenging. Brendan will occasionally ask questions when he's unsure. However, eye contact and participation during discussions with adults and peers is limited. Brendan's memory, specifically, is affecting all areas of language. The leading prosecuting attorney, Tom Fallon, said this during Brendan Dassey's trial, and I quote, "People who are innocent don't confess. The defendant confessed because he was guilty, because he did it. An innocent person is going to deny the suggestion. They're not going to admit to this, not to the degree that the defendant did. However, now let's keep one other thing in mind. I'll listen to their argument. It makes my blood boil because those officers treated the defendant a heck of a lot better than he treated Teresa Halbach. In the US, more than 25% of overturned wrongful convictions involve a false confession. Fassbender and Wiegert essentially made Brendan Dassey phone up his mother after the May 13th interrogation session. And there was something very interesting that Brendan said to his mother.
Yeah, but they came home with something that wasn't even true with me.
What's that?
They said that I smoked crack.
What?
Yeah.
That you what?
That I smoked crack.
Really?
Yeah. They said that they heard that from someone.
Who said that to you?
Both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I didn't. And they asked me if I smoked a cigarette, and I said I did once, but I didn't like it. And then they said that I was always talking about it over by him.
Really?
Yeah. And someone came out with me trying to commit suicide.
Why was Brendan Dassey so upset by this particular accusation? The fact that Fassbender and Wiegert had accused Brendan of smoking crack. I mean, it's rather bizarre what Brendan considered to be important to him. And you can hear in his voice that he was very, very upset. And his mother, Barb, was quite shocked with the accusation. If you're in prison and you make an outside call, all the calls are recorded. And here we've got a DCI report entitled Monitoring of Brendan Dassey Telephone Calls. I quote, "During the month of May 2006, Thomas J. Fassbender received from investigator Mark Wiegert of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department a CD containing recorded telephone conversations of Brendan Dassey while he was incarcerated in the Sheboygan County Jail, the juvenile detention. The CD was marked 5/14/06 to 5/18/06 with the following SSD. The CD had on it one recorded telephone conversation dated May the 15th, 2006, and 4 recorded conversations dated May 18, 2006. The following is a listing of the phone calls by date, military time and duration, and who Dassey spoke with, including observations made by Fassbender pertaining to content. If we have a look at the call that Brendan made on May the 15th at 18:54, I quote, "This is a telephone conversation between Brendan and his mother, Barb Yunder. During the conversation, Brendan talked about seeing his attorney that day and his attorney giving him some paper regarding a plea, which included dropping the charge of mutilating a corpse. Yunder asked Brendan what Stephen Avery, Stephen, had done to Brendan and where he had touched him. Yunder talked to Brendan about whether what he told her the other day about some of the other stuff that happened was true, and Brendan advised it was. During the conversation, Yunder asked how much of it was true and if Stephen did do it. Brendan advised that Stephen did. Yunder asked if Brendan was afraid of Stephen, and Brendan advised yes, and stated that Stephen was stronger than him. Yunder told Brendan that he could have called 911 or could have told her, and Brendan could have been a hero, and Brendan said he thought he would get in trouble for knowing.
But I'm a little pissed off at someone.
Who?
I don't know who it is, but I think they got someone that I think it might be.
I don't know what you're talking about, dear.
Because when they came up here for another interview, you know,
Yeah?
they said that they asked me if I smoke crack.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I said no, and then they said that they heard from someone that I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are they hearing that from?
I don't know.
This is a May 18th call at 17:13 hours, and it went for nearly around about 15 minutes. Now, this was a telephone conversation between Brendan, Yunder, and Candy Avery. Candy. During the conversation, Yunder and Candy told Brendan that they didn't feel he should plead guilty and he should say he's innocent. Yunder and Candy also suggested that he say Stephen forced him. Brendan commented that he never got the mail that day. Yunder and Candy also advised Brendan not to sign anything. Brendan commented that he was going to tell his attorney that he's fired, and Candy told him to see if he can get attorney Robin Shallow. Brendan made the comment that he only went over to Stephen's for the bonfire at 7. Brendan also said he was in the garage cleaning up reddish-black stuff.
Hey, where did you get a bike from? Did you get the newspaper? Did you get the mail?
I never got the mail.
Well, they got you that you got the mail.
No.
That you said that you rode your bike to go get the mail.
No.
Did anybody read you your testimony?
What's
That you
that?
gave that?
What do you mean?
The testimony that they gave, that they have. Did anybody read that to you?
I don't know.
It's everything that you were supposed to say to Mark.
You mean like a written statement?
No, this is all typed up. It must have come from your written statement. Here, I'll read a part of it. Where is it? This is Dassey stated on October 31st, 2005, he went to pick up the mail on his bike, and upon returning, he saw that there was a letter for Stephen Avery. Dassey stated that on the way to Stephen Avery's trailer, he passed a burning barrel located on Avery's property. Dassey stated that he looked into the burning barrel and observed a cell phone and a camera inside the burning barrel. Dassey stated while approaching the Avery's residence on his bike, he heard screaming for help coming from Avery's trailer. So did you?
No.
Then I wouldn't prove guilt. I would not prove. I wouldn't say you were guilty. Yeah. You're not guilty.
So what am I supposed to do with that one form that one guy gave me?
Don't fill it out.
And how about
No,
that?
if you don't know what you're filling out, you don't want to fill it out.
How about that one form when he filled it out about stuff about the family members and that?
What's that?
He asked me about the whole family, like my brothers and relation and that.
Oh, is that for you, for your witnesses?
I don't know.
That might be for your witnesses.
Well, you said something about getting relatives off my back or something.
Oh, that is to put a restraining order against everybody. So if you would call up here,
Yeah.
and I would be here, and you would want to talk to me,
Yeah.
I would not be able to talk to you if I'm on that list. I bet you that's what it is.
Well, everybody's name was on it, even my mom's.
He can't stop me from talking to you.
No.
Maybe it's for things on the case or whatever.
I don't know. Well, that was Mike that filled it out.
Did you sign anything?
No.
Don't. No, you got to be careful with him too, because he may say that he's with you, but he's not with you.
Yeah.
Because if he was with you, he'd be helping you to get you out of here.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't do something, don't admit that you did it. If you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is hurting yourself if you do. Because your Uncle Stephen wants to try pinning it on me and Earl.
Yeah.
So what are you going to tell him when he comes up there Monday?
That he's fired.
That he's fired?
Yeah.
I hope you find another attorney that's good.
Yeah.
Tell him you want a public defender from Sheboygan.
You got one, no, Mom?
No.
No.
I said, get a public defender from Sheboygan.
Yeah. What happened to that list that you had?
Huh? You should see if you can get Robin Shello. Yeah, Robin Shello. Appointed to you.
I don't know if I'm going to remember it, though.
Just remember Robin Shello. Robin, a bird,
Yeah.
and shallow.
Okay.
I'll be seeing you Sunday anyhow, so.
Yeah. Who's all coming up,
Because
though?
if you take, because I don't know if they really explained this to you. If you say you're guilty,
Yeah.
so turn around and say, okay, we'll give you a plea bargain. We'll eliminate this. But then again, you're looking at 80-some years no matter what.
Yeah.
You're looking at 80-some years for conspiracy to murder.
Yeah.
They may take off 12 years or whatever, 13 years.
Yeah.
And to you, that may seem pretty good. But you're looking at 80-some years of your life.
Yeah.
If you say you're not guilty, it'll go to trial. Well, then you need to they'll get people subpoenaed to defend your behalf.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll go to the school, get the teachers that you're interact with. They'll get family members that you're interacted with, if your attorney is good.
Yeah.
And if you had any outside odds and ends job that you did.
Yeah.
They'll subpoena them.
Well, the only job I had was with Mike Cornelli.
Yeah, and he said he'd testify for you.
Yeah.
Because I know you did not do this willingly. There was no way that you walked in the door intentionally to do this.
Yeah.
According to the papers, they have you at least 3 hours, 4 hours over by Stephen's house. Well, your mom said you were at home at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Scotty said that you were at home at 5:30.
Yeah.
And Mike said you were here at about 5 after 6 because you answered the phone.
Yeah. But they're saying that he didn't call.
Well, that's them.
Yeah.
You have 1 minute left. They're going to tell you something different than what is the truth because they're going to make you believe that it's something whole different.
Yeah.
You just believe what really, really went on.
Yeah.
That's what you got to stand by.
Well, I only went over there at 7 o'clock for the bonfire.
Well, then that's what you got to put. That's what you got to stay at.
You know?
Yep. Then how did you get bleach and stuff all over your pants?
Well, I was in the garage with him cleaning up some, like, reddish black stuff on the floor. And he was painting or gas and bleach to clean it up.
Okay, well then they got you there for that. You can't say that you were only there for the bonfire because they already got you at another part of the scene, so...
Yeah.
Thank you for using Evercom. Call back.
Candy did ask some very important questions, and one of them was regarding the bleach in Brendan's pants. Now, on the day that Brendan Dassey got arrested, the investigators, with Brendan's permission, went to his house and picked up the jeans. Now, the investigators gave the jeans to the crime lab and they found no traces of blood. In fact, they found no traces of blood on any of Brendan's clothing that he allegedly wore that day. That there's a recorded phone call between Barb and Stephen.
Well, it wasn't over by me.
Okay, put it this way. Where did the bleach come from?
What bleach?
The bleach all over his pants.
That was the time I washed the floor. That was after your van. And that was weeks ago. That wasn't that night. That night he came over. We had the bonfire, and he was home by 9 o'clock. Because I was in the house. Because Jody called me at 9 o'clock. And I was in the house already. And there was not left to the fire. And you didn't leave that house till almost 6 o'clock.
Who?
You.
I left here at
You and
5.
Scotty.
5 o'clock we left.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
How?
What do you mean, how? I got home.
I didn't have that fire going at 5 o'clock.
I got home from work at, 10 to 5? And Scott stopped here about, I'd have to say maybe 5 after 5. And I hopped in his truck and I left.
No, it wasn't that early.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, because I didn't have no fire when I talked to Jody, and that was at 5:35 or whatever it was. And I was in the house.
No, because I wasn't home long from work.
No, I was over by you after I talked to Jody or whatever. And you said you had to go with Scotty or something, I don't know.
Yeah, we went to Green Bay.
Yeah, you said Brendan got home after 10 o'clock.
That's what he said.
No, that's what you said. That's what you're telling everybody.
No.
And I said it was the time before that you called me up at 10 o'clock or whatever.
I said that I wanted Brendan home by 10.
Yeah. But that was the time before that. And that's when I burned all that other shit. car seat.
If you look at all the transcripts and you look at the police reports, there's no doubt that both Barb and Stephen are getting both events and dates completely mixed up. And this is a real tragedy, especially for those trying to work out a timeline, exactly where was Brendan Dassey, what was he doing, especially on the night of October the 31st. Now, we do have a record of the phone calls to and from Stephen Avery that were made on October the 31st, and you can see them documented here. And there are a couple of crucial phone calls that Stephen had mentioned. Jody had phoned Stephen at 5:36 p.m. on his landline. They spoke for around about 15 minutes. So the question is, where was Teresa? Where was Brandon? And after that phone call ended, Stephen phones Chuck using his cell phone, and they speak for roughly around about 5 minutes. Jody phones Stephen again at 8:57 p.m. on his landline, and you can clearly hear from the conversation that Stephen is outside, and they spoke for around about 15 minutes. There is no cell phone to cell phone call from Barb to Stephen on October the 31st. There is no record of that, which means that there's no way that Barb had called Stephen on October the 31st and asked Brendan to come home by 10 o'clock. That occurred at a different time entirely.
Hey, what time did you have to go see your mom that night?
My mom, we were up there by...
Monday night.
Monday night?
Yeah.
We were back up there by 6:30, 6:45, something like that.
So what time did you get back?
About 7:30, 48. I was home by 8 o'clock.
Well, so I didn't have that fire too long then?
No.
No. Next time you got back, we were almost done.
Yep.
Yeah, we were on the home stretch. Yeah, I don't know.
That ain't right.
No.
Scott Tadich said some very important things, and that is that when he came to drop off Barb, it was around about 7:30, 7:45. It was probably more closer towards 7:30. And you can see in the early reports that both Barb and Scott Tadich had mentioned that they'd seen Brendan Dassey. Now, Brendan Dassey was actually at home by around about 7:30, and he was seen by his brothers, and he was also seen by his mother. He clearly wasn't with Stephen. Scott Tadich said that when he got home to drop off Barb, because they had allegedly visited his mother in Green Bay, that the fire that Stephen had that evening was almost done. It had almost been completed. He certainly wasn't mentioning a great big whopping fire. So by the time that Scott had dropped off Barb, the fire was almost done. Brendan was home. And it's interesting that in that conversation that Jody had with Stephen at 8:57, Stephen observed his sister leave her residence to go to Scott's, and she spent the evening at Scott's. Brendan Dassey, Blaine, his brother, and Barb were kept at Fox Hills for one night. And I quote, "While in the room, Fassbender asked about an apparent incident wherein Brendan had come home with some bleach stains on his pants. Barb immediately advised she remembered that, as did Brendan. Initially, Brendan commented it was the day before Halloween, but then advised it wasn't and that it was Halloween. Fassbender asked Brendan if he was sure it was the day of Halloween, and he advised yes. Brendan advised that Stephen Avery had asked him to help him clean up his garage floor. Brendan advised there was an area on the floor similar to the area between the two beds in the motel room. Fassbender asked if that would be about a 3 foot by 5 foot to 6 foot area, and he advised yes. Fassbender asked where in the garage it was located, and he advised about 2 feet from the main door or the overhead door. Fassbender asked when Stephen requested this assistance, and Brendan said it was about 8 or to 8:30 or possibly 7 to 7:30. Fassbender asked if the Suzuki Samurai was already in the garage, and Brendan advised no. They pushed that in after they'd cleaned the floor. Fassbender asked what they cleaned off the floor, and Brendan stated he initially thought it was oil. Fassbender asked what colour the substance on the floor was, and he advised dark red. Brendan was asked if he cleaned it up, and he advised that Stephen helped. Fassbender asked how it was cleaned up, and Brendan advised that Stephen first used gas on it, then paint thinner, and then bleach. Fassbender asked if the gas worked, and Brendan advised that the gas cleaned it up a little bit. Fassbender asked what they used to clean it up with, and Brendan advised rags. Fassbender asked what Stephen did with the rags afterwards, and he advised he threw them in the fire. Fassbender asked if the thinner cleaned up the mess, and he advised it cleaned it up some more. Fassbender asked what type of container the bleach was in, and Brendan advised it was a normal bleach container. Fassbender asked again what the colour of the substance was, and he advised red. He advised it looked red on the rags. Fassbender asked if the substance could have been blood, and he advised he thought it could have been blood. Fassbender asked what he now thinks it was, and he advised he thinks it was blood. When Tom Fassbender testified during Brendan's trial, that it was him that mentioned blood, not Brendan Dassey. In other words, Brendan Dassey never stated that what he thought he cleaned up was blood. It was a suggestion by Tom Fassbender. Fassbender asked Brendan Dassey to draw a diagram of the garage. Brendan drew the area where the stain was. You can see the stain area, and next to the stain area was a snowmobile. Quite clearly, there was no vehicle in the garage at the time, and he stated that what he cleaned up smelled like oil. On March the 1st, when Brendan Dassey was arrested, he was asked to draw a picture of the same garage. And he was asked where Teresa was laying on the ground when Stephen allegedly shot her up to 10 times, and where the blood was that they'd cleaned up. And you can see in the diagram on the right-hand side that Brendan said, there was blood at the back of the lawnmower. This is not the area that Brendan Dassey and Stephen allegedly cleaned up. The investigators, of course, once they had learned this, they went inside the garage and they completely treated the garage floor with luminol. They're looking for the presence of blood. The only blood that they found in the garage, and there were droplets of blood, that blood belonged to Stephen Avery. It didn't belong to Teresa Halbach at all. There's extensive photography, and you can see on the garage floor there's a lot of stains because both vehicles that were in the garage, the Suzuki Samurai and also there was a snowmobile in the garage, both of them were leaking. And it just so happens that transmission fluid, when it leaks onto the ground, is reddish black, and it does resemble blood. And you can see the diagram, the photograph, where the ride-on lawnmower was, right at the back. And the investigators found no evidence of any blood belonging to Teresa Horbach. Furthermore, the type of bleach that Brendan and Stephen used to clean the garage floor does not destroy hemoglobin. So even though they were using that bleach, if Teresa's blood was on the actual garage floor, the type of bleach that they used would not disguise or remove the presence of hemoglobin, which will be detected by presumptive tests. This is a recorded phone call between Stephen and Jody. This occurred on Sunday, October the 30th, one day prior to Teresa Horbach arriving at the salvage yard for a photo shoot. Now, Stephen had just come back, same with Brendan, from Crivets. And they also bought the Suzuki and also the snowmobile back from Crivets. And what Stephen was doing was repairing the Suzuki. There was something wrong with the transmission. And you can see on the ground, there's plenty of fluid. These vehicles were leaking. Brendan and Stephen were cleaning up the garage floor. Now, we do not know whether it was Sunday, October the 30th, that they were cleaning up the garage floor, or whether this event had taken place at another time. But quite clearly, you can see that right at the front of the garage, there is no stains. It appears to have been cleaned, whereas further in the garage, there are fresh stains, because that photograph was taken, I believe, on November the 6th, so much later when the investigators went in.
This call is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Evercom.
Sit over there. Hi, honey.
Who are you talking to?
About Brendan. And we're just out in the garage. See my new TV?
This places Brendan Dassey with Stephen in his garage on Sunday, October the 30th. One of the biggest issues, and we showed this right at the start of the presentation, was what Brendan allegedly admitted to while talking to Fassbender and Uyghur. And that is that when he came home on October the 31st at 3:45 p.m., he was with his brother Blaine. Both Blaine and Brendan got off the school bus that drops them off at the end of Avery Road. And both the boys walked home. Brendan was playing computer games, doing phone calls, receiving phone calls, watching TV. Blaine eventually went to trick-or-treating and he got picked up. What is interesting is what Brendan allegedly said he did. He stated that when he went home, he got on his bike, went down the gravel road to pick up mail. We are to believe that Brendan walked past the mailboxes, which is directly opposite to where he got let off with his brother at the bus stop, walked past the mailboxes to go home, only then to get on his bike, ride all the way back down the gravel road, pick up the mail for Stephen, and then drop it off, and then knocking on the door, waiting for his uncle who was full of sweat. And then Brendan Dassey was invited to come inside where he had seen Teresa pinned up to a bed and decided to go home. But before his mother got there, and then after his mother left with Scott, Brendan decided to go back to Stephen's property. The mail is never picked up by Brendan, especially Stephen's mail. His mail is delivered by his mother, Dolores.
That day, that Monday, Halloween.
Yeah.
How did you get up here?
How did I get up there?
Yeah.
My car?
You didn't walk up here?
No.
What time did you come up here?
7:30.
That's when you first came up here?
In the morning?
No, at night.
Well, how do I know?
Did you drive up here or did you walk up here?
I think I drove.
Just run with me. Who's talking to you?
This call is from the Calumet County Jail. This call may be
I
monitored
I
or
heard you
recorded.
walked up here.
Huh?
I heard you walked up here.
No.
Well, I didn't think so, because why would you walk up here when you got your car down there?
Yeah, I would never walk up there.
Well, that's what I mean. And if you would have rode with me otherwise, because I was up there between 3 and 3:30 with your mail.
Now, if Dolores is bringing the mail to Stephen, as I'm sure she does on a daily basis, quite clearly you can't have Brendan Dassey delivering the mail to Stephen. And as you saw at the beginning of the program, Brendan Dassey denied that he ever went down with his bike to get the mail. Brendan Dassey had made another phone call on May the 18th, 2006 at 17:47 hours, and that conversation went for about 15 minutes. Let me summarize what Fassbender said regarding that phone call. This was a telephone conversation between Brendan, Yunda, and Candy. During the conversation, Candy told Brendan not to talk to the investigators anymore. Brendan commented that he did not see Teresa Hallbach's body in the fire and that he didn't know if Stephen killed her. Brendan said he never said that Stephen had shot her and that Mike had shown him a picture of a bullet found in the garage. Brendan also advised the reason he had lost weight was to impress a girl who had dumped him and that he was depressed because he didn't think he would get another girl. There was some conversation about a picture of Brendan being sold on the internet. Candy also commented that she had heard information that blood had been taken from Brendan when he was arrested and that tests showed he was on crack.
Oh.
Hello, this is a collect call from
Brendan?
an inmate at the Sheboygan County Jail. To accept charges, press 0. To refuse, this call is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Evercom.
Hello?
Yeah?
Oh, you heard me, huh?
Yeah.
Is your attorney there when Mark and those guys go up there?
No.
Don't talk to them no more.
Yeah.
They're putting you places where you're not.
Yeah.
And the only reason why they're talking to you is to get more information out of you. And what your attorney should be doing is putting an order on all of them that they cannot interfere with you or your family members unless your attorney's present.
Yeah.
Because they're all investigators for the Hallbach case.
Yeah.
Not the Dassey case. It's the Hallbach case.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that they're putting out there is bad stuff about you. And if you weren't there at the time, if you didn't slice her throat, if you did not have sexual contact with her,
No.
that's everything that they're saying. Yeah, that's all in the report here that Mom's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I was in the garage cleaning up that stuff on the floor, how much time would I get though for that?
What was it?
I don't know, it was reddish black stuff.
To see what they're probably going to do, they're probably going to turn around and have it. Well, Stephen said this. Stephen's saying you're here. Well, if you say yeah, not meaning yeah, it's true, just yeah, you're going to say, well, okay, Brendan was there. Brendan did that. And then they're going by Stephen and saying, well, Brendan said this, Brendan said that.
But what does Steven say about it?
Stephen just says you're a dumb shit.
Yeah. The last time I talked to Mark and that, they said that Steven was trying to pin me and Bobby for it.
But yeah, they come to our house one day and Stephen said right over the phone to Chucky, mind you,
Yeah.
that he is going to set it up with his attorneys that he blames it on me and Earl.
Yeah.
And I looked at Mark and Tom and told them, well, if he tries doing that, He's going to be one sorry son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I told him it's pretty pathetic. He has to go frickin' kill somebody and take his little innocent kid down with him.
Yeah. And plus, if he didn't do it, then why was he trying to hide up north that one day?
Well, see, they got it on camera that you were sitting right across the table from Steven, smiling at him.
I had my head down.
Yeah.
That's because they said to act normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is normal to Brendan. With his head down all the time. So did you see the body in the fire?
No.
See, they said that you seen the body in the fire.
No.
Do you know if he killed her?
Not that I know of.
So then how do you know that there was a bullet shell inside the garage?
Because when Mike came up here, he had a picture of it.
Yeah, but they told everybody that you told them that there was bullet shells inside the garage.
No.
That she shot him, that Steven shot her 10 times.
No. In the picture, they had bullets right by a crack or something in the cement.
Don't believe those guys what they say.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk to them, Brendan. That's just like on that Monday when they took you out of class at 10 o'clock. They said that they called me and asked me to talk to you. They never did.
Yeah.
They never called me on that Monday.
But I wish that I listened to someone before I went there.
No?
Yeah. You know who that was, Mom?
Yeah,
Who?
I know who that was.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Starts with a T.
Yeah.
Huh.
How do you know?
I know, you told me already.
Yeah. So who's all coming up here on Sunday, Mom?
I know, hon. Probably me and your dad again.
Dad said that he was going to try to get Brad, though.
You try. I'm going to try to get you closer, too.
Yeah. Well, when I talked to that Mike, you know, and that one girl that comes up here to see how I'm doing, she wrote something down about something about Manitowoc Juvenile Center.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if she's going to try to get me closer or not.
Who, Wendy?
I don't know. No, I think it's Jackie.
Huh?
Jackie is her name.
Jackie?
Yeah. In the paper, did they say anything about me being, like, losing weight and that?
Yep. A long time ago.
Yeah, but they think that I lost that and I was depressed because of all that happened. But that ain't the reason.
Why'd you lose so much weight?
Because my mom knows that, I was trying to impress a girl.
Oh.
But then she dumped me the day that I was going to meet her, and then I was depressed because I thought that I wasn't going to get another one.
Oh.
But then Travis, he got me another one, Emily, and then after they arrested me like 2 weeks after, she broke up with me.
Well, do you blame her?
No.
This is a big thing. Nobody ever heard your side. Nobody. The only thing that they hear is what people print.
Yeah.
And never once was it that they heard Brendan.
Yeah.
You go into court, you look down at the table.
Yeah.
The judge says something, all you say is, yeah.
So does my mom know if they stopped selling my picture or something?
I don't know yet. selling your picture on the internet. A 10 by 30 for $90. Well, who's selling that? Harold Pine. I called down there and gave him a nasty message. I put a lawsuit against them.
Yeah.
They can't sell your picture.
No.
Who sold it with the article?
But I was trying to figure out who said that to Mark and Thomas about me. They asked me if I ever smoked crack and that.
They said that they took a blood test of you. When they hauled you in, they took a blood test of you and said that you were on crack.
No. They never took my blood and that. The only thing they took of mine is my fingerprints.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, what some liars. Because they looked at us and they said, you know, that he was on crack. I said, what? I said, no, I didn't know he was on crack. I didn't know he was on anything.
I ain't.
So the only thing I knew he was on was being a Nintendo freak.
Yeah. Unless there's something that had to do with that one doctor when he gave me that one thing in my arm.
What did he give you in your arm?
Something about, I don't know, he said we're...
Something for TB?
Something like that. Yeah, TBs. He said that after like 3 or 4 days he was going to come back up and see if there was a lump where he put the needle in. And when he checked me, there's no bump there.
Yeah, there'll be a lump there because of your muscle.
Yeah.
The TB shot, that's for tuberculosis. Didn't you get all your shots? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, where would they give you a TB shot? TB should be for tuberculosis, or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up on the internet one. They didn't draw no blood from you?
No.
Did they take a piss urine from you?
No. Well, they took my spit and that's it. They took one of them cotton things and went on the side of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know if that would show up on that. In your saliva.
No.
I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I'll check it out on the internet, though. Because they told us that it was inside your blood.
No. Could it get in your blood if someone's around you and smoking it or something?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, because that one time when I was with Travis, babysitting Mindy's dogs and that,
Mm-hmm.
that one guy that used to live with had that stuff, and he was trying to make me do it, and I said I wouldn't, because he had that one, he had this one mask thing.
Mask thing?
Yeah, with these tubes on it.
A bong?
I don't know, it was like a mask with a tube in it.
Yeah, a bong.
Yeah, and then he had this one bottle where there's...
It boils?
Yeah.
And he was smoking that?
Yeah.
Was it pot or was it crack?
I don't know.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even been inside your system.
No. But I really hated when they put them leg cuffs on my legs because there's marks on my legs.
Oh, yeah, the shackles?
Yeah. On my right leg there was like this one opening that was bleeding.
You tell them that they're putting them too tight or something.
Yeah.
You have 1 minute left.
Or see if you could put something around your legs before they put them on or something. Because they're going to put them on you. You do that Monday, okay?
Yeah.
I love you.
Okay.
I love you too.
Love you.
See you Sunday.
Okay. So try to get Brad up, Mom.
I will.
I'll try to call Marie as fast as I can.
Well, Marie's at work right now.
Well, I gotta get my calling card first.
Oh. Alright, I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
It's interesting that, again, the notion that Brendan Dassey was on crack came up yet again. And this time, Candy had made the comment that Brendan had blood taken and it was tested for the presence of crack. If we have a look at the May 13 interrogation, there's a couple of very interesting points that come up, especially in reference to drugs, as we get. You know what else I heard? Huh? That you guys took pictures of her. That's true, isn't it? No. Did you take the pictures? No. Shakes head. No. Did Steve take pictures? No. Did you tell somebody you took pictures? No. Shakes head. No. You told Travis that? No. Shakes head. No. What else have you told Travis? Nothing. You told him you saw the body in the fire. Just that. Brendan, were you guys drinking before this at all? No. How about smoking any weed? No. Shakes head. No. 'Cause I know you do that once in a while. No, I don't. Well, how come you and Travis talk about it a lot? He does it, but I don't do it. You don't smoke anything? Shakes head. No. You smoke cigarettes? No. Shakes head. No. I tried it. Yeah. Did you try marijuana? No. Well, I heard that you smoke marijuana once in a while. No. And remember, as part of the READ technique, investigators are permitted to lie and use deception. There's been some talk about the fact that Brendan was tested for crack in his blood and that a blood draw was taken for Brendan and it was drug tested. Here is a DCI report entitled Execution of Search Warrant, Buccal Swabs, Brendan Dassey. You can clearly see that the property items that were taken from Brendan and sent to the crime laboratory as part of the search warrant, and I'll read it out, palm print cards for Brendan Dassey and buccal oral swabs for Brendan Dassey. The buccal swabs are used for the preparation of DNA, and of course palm prints were done. And as you can see here in the DCI reports, there was no blood draw, there was no drug testing. If there was a blood draw, it would have been documented as part of the search warrant, and if Brendan had tested positive for crack, there is no doubt it would have been used against him in court. Now, Brendan Dassey phoned again on May the 18th. This was a telephone conversation between Brendan, Barb, and Candy. During this conversation, Candy advised that she was going to email Attorney Shallow to see if she would take Brendan's case if appointed. There was some conversation about Stephen's girlfriend, Jody Stokowski, wherein Candy talked about Stephen having beaten her and having said that he would hunt her down. There was also talk about Brendan talking to Channel 5 to tell his story. You listen to that phone call. In the background, Barb Yonder is talking to Anjanette Levy. And this is the very next call that takes place on May the 18th at 19:05 hours. There was a telephone conversation between Brendan and Anjanette Levy, with Channel 5. Levy essentially interviewed Brendan, during which Brendan essentially denied any involvement in Teresa Horbach's death and various statements he had allegedly made to law enforcement implicating his involvement.
Station, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I've started the tape, and I'm going to ask you one more time. Brendan, do I have your permission to record this conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Brendan, how are you doing?
Well, not really bad, but I can't see none of my friends.
Do you see your mom?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brendan, I was just wondering, your mom was saying you want your side of the story told with all of this. I know you got arrested on March 1st, and the police said that you told them, you know what the police said, that they said that you and you told them that you and your uncle killed and raped Teresa.
Yeah.
Mhm. What is your side of that story? What do you have to say about that? You said you want your side of the story told.
Well, my story is I came home from school at 3:45, started walking down the road, and me and Blaine were talking about who would get the phone first to call our friends, you know. And then we went in the house, Blaine, he called his friend first, and while he was talking to his friend, I was playing PlayStation 2, and I waited for a little bit, and then at 5 o'clock or about that, my mom came home and I talked to her, and she said she had to leave to go to the hospital with Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I watched TV until about 6 o'clock and got a phone call from Blaine's boss, Mike Cornelli, and told him that Blaine was going trick-or-treating with his friend. And after that, I watched TV until 7, and Steven called, and he asked me if I wanted to come over to the bonfire, so I told him I would, and I did, and then he told me that I was gonna help him clean up the yard. So we did it, and we picked up fan seat, wood, and some tires for the fire, and we picked that stuff up, and then we brought it to the fire. Then we threw some of it on, and then we went into the garage, and there was a puddle on the floor of some reddish black stuff, but I didn't know what it was from. But it was like, I don't know, it was like probably 5 feet by 5 feet puddle or something. And so we cleaned it up with some old rags, and we threw the stuff in the fire after that, and then we sat there watching the fire, and then we threw some of the stuff on, and my mom came home at 9. Then she went into the house and called Steven on his cell phone to tell him that I was supposed to be home at 10 o'clock, and that if I had a sweater on. And so we waited for the fire to go down, and then he told me to go home to get some sleep for school the next day. And after that, I talked to my mom a little bit and went to bed.
Well, you said you were hanging out in the house with your brothers?
Yeah.
Which ones were those? I know you have 3 brothers.
Well, Blaine was the only one there.
Oh, okay. Oh, because you guys came home from school.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it said in some papers they had in court.
Yeah.
So you said you guys were hanging out in the house watching playing Game Boys and watching TV?
Yeah.
What were you guys watching on TV?
Some music videos.
Oh, okay. Like what station is that?
Channel 333.
Oh, okay. Like, I don't know, VH1 or something?
MTV.
Oh, MTV. Oh, yeah, VH1's probably like, for somebody more my age, probably like a little older music and stuff like that. Okay. Well, and you said you didn't even go over until Steven called you?
Yeah.
And that was 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Well, where do you think the cops are getting all this stuff about you getting off the bus and getting the mail and stuff?
I don't know.
No?
But I didn't do that because I never get the mail, and how can I ride a bike because I don't got one? Because mine's junk because my gear gauge is busted.
And you didn't go over to Stephen's house at all after school?
No.
Well, where do you, when the cops were talking to you, because we haven't seen that videotape, they said that you are the one that said, you saw Teresa's car in the garage and the fire pit going. There was a big fire in there and everything.
Well, the fire was started before I got there.
But when you got home from school, you didn't see the fire?
No.
And you didn't see Teresa's car in the garage?
No.
So how did this all go down that they said you said all this?
Well, they, said some stuff, and they asked me if it happened or not. But I would say, sometimes I would say no, then they would say I was lying or something.
But that one cop, he was up there testifying, he said you provided all the detail.
Not really.
Well, what is that? What do you mean, not really?
Well, some of the stuff I gave, but some of the other stuff wasn't true.
Oh, well, what did you give them?
Well, when they asked me what I did all over there, and I told them that I was just over to the bonfire the first interview, and they said that the next day, the time that they arrested me, that they knew all the stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did they said that you said that Stephen answered the door all sweaty and kind of half naked, and that he took you down the hall and Teresa was, on the bed with shackles and handcuffs. You didn't say that?
No.
Where did they get that you said that?
I don't know.
Do you think if I went to the cops, Brendan, and said, hey, we need to do a story on this, and, why don't you let us watch the tape? We won't put it on TV or anything, but maybe we could just view it. You wouldn't be saying that? You wouldn't be saying you saw Teresa shackled and handcuffed to the bed?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
And you didn't have sex with Teresa? They said that you had sex with her?
No.
And that she was, screaming for help and, saying Brendan, well, I guess she didn't know your name, but she was saying you can stop this, crying, you can stop this, you can stop this.
Yeah.
And that she was begging you to save her.
Well, I know, I never seen her in my life besides that one day when she was on the news, when she was missing. Because my mom called that one day and told me to turn on the news and watch it because she was a little late.
Because she was what?
She was a little late she was coming home from work.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me to turn it on before she got there to see what was on.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you feel like when these cops were talking to you that they were mean to you?
They yell at me sometimes.
They yelled at you?
Yeah.
Which one of them yelled at you?
I can't remember, but the one was up north when they interviewed in November.
Mm-hmm.
One of them swore at me.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
don't remember his name?
No.
Okay. But the guys that interviewed you, when they said that you told them all this stuff,
Yeah.
there's like a tall guy and a short guy,
Yeah.
I think. He's got kind of balding.
Yeah.
Which one of them yelled at you?
Mark, I think.
Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. And the judge, what did you think about all that stuff the judge said? The judge said he thought they, were nice to you and everything.
I don't know, maybe he's lying or something.
The judge?
Yeah.
He said he watched the tape and everything.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
He said he saw it, that you willingly said that, you participated. And I'm not trying to pressure you, I'm just asking you because, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But he said that you willingly said, I raped Teresa, I slit her throat, that Stephen told you to slit her throat, and but Teresa didn't die yet,
No.
and that then Stephen strangled her, and he had blood all over his hands. That's what it says in the criminal complaint.
No.
That's not true?
No. Because I can't look at blood, because if I do, I have like a blackout or a faint. I faint.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that I talked to Stephen a while back on the phone?
I don't recall.
He said that he loves you all, his nephews.
Yeah.
I mean, you love Stephen?
Yeah.
Like, he's probably, you guys are probably close.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he would hang out with you guys, like his nephews is what he said. He would hang out with you guys all the time.
Yeah, he would bring me places. Like, he would take me out to eat, and he said that if I would help him with this, he was fixing cars,
Mm-hmm.
He said if I would help him, he would, later on, he would help me find the car.
Well, what all kind of stuff did you do together?
Well, we would go up north riding, like, jeeps and that around, and go fishing, and have fires and go swimming.
Did you guys hang out outside, or not outside, but when you come home from school and stuff, did you guys ever hang out?
Not usually, because he works until 5.
But that day he said he left work early.
Yeah.
Because he said, like, he told me he was, like, hanging out at his house all day.
Yeah.
You didn't see him when you came home?
No.
And you said you never saw Teresa before?
No.
I was talking to your attorney yesterday, and he just briefly mentioned that there had been some discussions back and forth, and then I guess he told another station that, there's something about you pleading guilty, and maybe testifying, I guess, against Stephen. What do you think of that?
Well, when they interviewed, I was a little nervous, and because I'm shy a little bit, and that, and I don't know.
I mean, but do you understand what I'm saying about you pleading guilty?
Yeah.
That they want you to say you did it.
Well, at first I thought that they were, like, trying to get Stephen for something he didn't do again. And after I heard that they had evidence on him, I lost confidence in that.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think Stephen did this?
You have 1 minute left.
Not really.
Brendan, they were saying they have some evidence that corroborates your version of events, that you took part in this with your uncle.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
I don't know, maybe they're planting it or something.
They're planting evidence against you?
Yeah.
But if I were to watch that tape, Brendan, would I see you saying that you raped Teresa?
I don't recall.
You don't remember saying you raped Teresa?
No.
And that you slit her throat?
No.
And that Stephen told you did a good job after you raped her?
No.
Stephen never told you did a good job?
No.
So what do you think of all this?
That it's bullcrap.
You never saw Teresa naked on that bed?
No.
Thank you for using Evercom.
If you listen to the conversation of Brendan with Anjanette, you'll hear that even Brendan got a few things confused about the fact that he had gone home, spoken to his mother, and then went to bed. Barb, his mother, had actually left to go to Scott Tadich's home at approximately 9:06 p.m. And this was actually observed by Stephen Avery, who was talking to Jody on the phone. It's also quite clear that Stephen Avery was outside.
She's leaving again.
What black outfit? My swimsuit?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's
And my
probably what it
big
is.
pants, my shorts, my big pants?
No, it don't. It go from the waist up.
Is there a black string around my neck?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that's up north, huh?
Yeah,
That's probably my... You got a picture like that at home, right?
I think so. Yeah.
It's my swimsuit, my big shorts.
Now she's gone again.
Let's continue.
My position now and then was that he was over-sentenced. When they said he wasn't going to be eligible for release until 2048, I remember my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, how do you throw away a 16-year-old for that long? But I also think the truth matters.
So we're all playing Monday morning quarterback now, not having heard as much of the evidence as the jury did, and that's what the jury found.
A jury found Stephen and Brendan guilty based on all the evidence.
Property is blocked off tonight, and one officer tells us they'll likely be there throughout the evening. Sheriff Jerry Poggle says after conversations with Brendan Dassey, investigators believe there is more evidence to be found on the Avery property. In particular, they're looking for blood evidence.
We have removed sections of concrete from the garage on the Stephen Avery property. We are also removing items from Stephen's bedroom, from the hallway, from closets, and from other areas within Stephen's house.
Now, Special Prosecutor Ken Kratz wouldn't say if DNA evidence from Brendan Dassey has been found. He does say genetic evidence that may have been destroyed by bleach or another cleaning product may have seeped through concrete on the property. That's why sections of it are being pulled up and analyzed.
Is there any DNA evidence backing up the kid's story?
Yeah, we're not going to comment on that. We obviously have a lot of evidence, and I guess we can say that there is a substantial amount of physical evidence that now makes sense.
The investigators went back to the Avery property. And what did they find? If we look at the left-hand side, it's pretty obvious that what the investigators did is that they literally tore Stephen Avery's master bedroom apart. They removed the wood paneling from the wall, and they even ripped up the carpet. They luminol treated, they did swabs. They're clearly looking for any type of evidence that Teresa Horbach was inside Stephen Avery's master bedroom. Because remember, according to what Brendan had said, he said that he saw Teresa Horbach physically restrained to Stephen Avery's bed. And furthermore, they'd slit her throat, stabbed her, and done all sorts of ultraviolence to Teresa Horbach. The whole sum of all their investigation was that there was no biological material from Teresa Horbach was found in Stephen Avery's bedroom. They had, in November, a human remains detection canine go through the bedroom, go through the trailer. There were no hits, no alerts in Stephen Avery's master bedroom. The investigators went inside Stephen Avery's garage. If a shooting scenario took place in the garage, we'll look for the presence of blood spatter, and they luminol treated the garage. They also tore up the concrete in the garage. They jackhammered it. They used Blue Star, which is very similar to luminol. They're looking for the presence of blood. So this is a presumptive test for blood. You can see in the picture that they were looking at all the concrete pieces and they treated it with Blue Star. They found no biological material from Teresa Horbach. They found no blood, no skin, no hair, no blood spatter. However, they did find a bullet fragment, item FL, in the garage. Cherie Culhane tested or extracted the DNA from that bullet fragment. She found the profile belonging to Teresa Horbach. In 2017, Kathleen Zellner was able to subpoena item FL, and she gave it to Dr. Palanik to test. When Dr. Palanik examined item FL, he found that it had embedded shards of wood, also red paint, wax, cotton fibers. Most telling was that there were no bone shards present in the soft lead of item FL. It meant that item FL never struck bone, never struck skull, could not have been the bullet that caused Teresa Halbach's death. Furthermore, chemical analysis testing of item FL showed that there was no evidence of bone. No blood was noted, no skin, no tissue, nothing. Furthermore, Cherie Culhane had utilized all the DNA in the bullet sample, which means no one can reproduce the results. Cherie Culhane, when she did the testing, she contaminated the PCR negative control with her own DNA. In her handbook, it explicitly states that if you contaminate any of the controls, you throw out all the results. You cannot draw any conclusions from the test result, the bullet sample. You have to discard everything and use brand new solutions and do a new re-extraction. Unfortunately for Culhane, she had utilized all the DNA sample, so she couldn't do the testing again. If she couldn't submit this result, then the state literally had no evidence of Teresa Halbach ever being in the garage. So it was crucial that Culhane had to get item FL submitted. So she used a deviation request form. Her own supervisor, Marie Beth Variali, never signed the request form. Marie was the direct boss of Cherie Culhane. Marie represents the Attorney General. She gives the okay to everything that comes out of the crime lab. She never signed the form. She got another fellow member in another laboratory to sign the deviation request form. Furthermore, the deviation request form is only for exclusionary purposes. In this case, she wanted to use it for inclusionary purposes. The whole premise was that item FL was the bullet that had struck Teresa Halbach in the skull and killed her. But Mr. Kratz was actually very, very clever. He never actually stated that item FL was the bullet that killed Teresa Halbach. If you've ever worked in a DNA laboratory, you know that DNA can easily cross-contaminate other samples. So hence, the DNA profile which is found in item FL in the test tube, it can easily be explained by workbench cross-contamination of the bullet sample tube. Why? Because at the workbench, Cherie Culhane had isolated high molecular weight, high concentration of Teresa Halbach's DNA. And in actual fact, one of the samples that she had worked on at the same time as item FL was touch DNA from Teresa Halbach when she touched the inside of the driver's side door. It was discovered by Jerome Buting that Culhane had kept the DNA samples at her workbench instead of placing them in a secure location. Furthermore, they were able to get the contamination records of the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. It was discovered that Culhane and other members of her laboratory had similar contamination events in the same laboratory, which means that they got results from samples that contained DNA from individuals that were never even related to the case that they were studying. The state can't explain why the bullet fragment that contains embedded wood, shards, and red paint but has no bone. However, a defense team can easily explain item FL as a form of cross-contamination. If the judge knew about DNA and how it works, he would have never introduced it into a court of law. But item FL was effectively used against Brendan and against Stephen.
Brendan Dassey, in again sometimes graphic detail, will talk about approaching Uncle Steve's trailer, and before he even knocks on the door, he hears screaming. Brendan actually sees Teresa shackled with handcuffs and leg irons to the bed, and by force and by violence, he has sexual intercourse with Teresa Halbach. After the rape, Stephen Avery praises his nephew and says that's how you do it. Then Stephen and Brendan discuss if they should and how they should kill Teresa Halbach. Stephen Avery stabs the victim. Brendan Dassey, handed the knife by Uncle Steve, cuts Teresa Halbach's throat.
And here you can see Ken Kratz in his opening statement weaponizing the words from Brendan, right? And you heard when Brendan was talking to Anjanette Levy that he was denying everything. He was recanting everything, that he can't explain why he said those things. And this is one of the downfalls of using the Reed technique.
You accused him during the course of this interview of shooting Teresa, correct?
Yep, and which he was able to resist every time we accused him.
Well, the truth of the matter is, you don't know if it's right and you don't know if it's wrong, do you?
Whether or not he shot Teresa?
Correct.
I know he was there when she was shot. Whether he...
Well, let me stop you there. You know he was there because he told you that, right?
And because of the evidence.
Well, the cuffs, the bullets, the shells, the shovels, see, everything that the government has paraded in here. None of these items have fingerprints, DNA, or any other scientific evidence connecting Brendan Dassey to the death of Teresa Halbach. Yes or no?
That's correct. They had 5 days to clean up.
I thought Investigator Wiegert did a tremendous job, and we've been praising the police all along. We love the police. The other family obviously doesn't. So, but yeah, we owe a lot to them for the work that they've done for my family and for Teresa.
The state attorneys had zero evidence against Brendan, and you could see that Edelstein pointed out to all the items that they brought into court. None of them could be linked to Brendan. Brendan could not be linked to Teresa Halbach. Brendan could not be linked to Teresa Halbach's RAV4. And here's the ultimate irony. Now, as we all know, Kathleen Zellner has named Bobby Dassey, who's Brendan Dassey's older brother, as a third-party Denny suspect in the murder of Teresa Halbach. And Joshua Cole, who's the Attorney General, and Lisa Kumpfer, who's the Assistant Attorney General, did a rebuff of what Kathleen Zellner had presented. I quote, "Here, overwhelming evidence that Bobby did not commit this crime exists in the utter absence of any facts tying him to the actual killing or even a single piece of forensic evidence. Jurors are instructed to use their common sense when reaching a verdict, that the arguments of the attorneys are not evidence, and that a trial is a search for the truth." The fact that Brendan both confessed and implicated Avery is part of the record, and Brendan was convicted of this crime regardless of the fact that he wasn't forensically linked to it. This is the ultimate irony, because one brother, Brendan, is sitting in prison until 2048. I hope that you've enjoyed the podcast. We have covered quite a lot. My name is Dr. Silkman, and I'm from the Foul Play team. Thank you.
I don't think Brendan's the key to this, but the person you see in the courtroom every day, sitting there staring at his fingers, that's Brendan. That's not an act. That really is Brendan. So, like I say, he's not a sophisticated person. He's not going to put on a show for anyone.